like to place my gratitude to Dr. Monica Verma, Dr. Arunima Sirohi, Dr. Shashi Gupta, Mr. Ashish Avasthi, Ms. Minu, and Ms. Panjika. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to be a part of your curriculum. I would have certainly felt guilty conscious if I would have not been able to contribute something during this time. So it has always been a pleasure to be a part of the curriculum of IMS. I hope that everybody has joined in and you all are at your places. And today we are going to talk about the opportunities and challenges in e-commerce with a special focus of COVID-19, the duration which we are facing right now. And before this is starting this particular session, I would want you all to undergo an exercise. Which exercise? The exercise talks about stimulus, because what we talk when we say opportunities and challenges, then I don't think there has been ever a time where there was no challenge in life actually. So we need to understand that how do we respond to the challenge, and for that we need to understand that what is that which we see is what we see is more important, or what we feel within ourselves is more important. And then I'll be placing a question to all of you in terms of understanding by your own self, in terms of introspecting that. That question I'll come back to you later once I will do this exercise for all of you. So I hope that everybody is at a place where we can do this particular exercise. So for an instance, just learn and understand what does stimulus means, and then I'm going to ask you that what is the most difficult thing in life actually. So just do this exercise sincerely so that we all of us understand. So let's for a while close our eyes for a moment and think of nothing. So let's start doing it. Close your eyes and think of nothing. I assume everybody has done that. Now just go back to the moment when it was very hot, like today it's winters. Forget that it's winters. Just imagine that we are in the month of June and we are standing in a ground. Imagine for a moment. Now just imagine that the sun is over your head and you are feeling too hot. Now just imagine that you are running in that ground in search of a water and you are feeling very, very, very thirsty. And just imagine that you have completely got exhausted. Please keep your eyes closed, otherwise you will not be able to feel this. Just feel that you have been running and running for the water and you are not getting any water anywhere. And you are completely tired and it's scorching heat all across. And now you have found a shade. You are going towards that. Under the shade, there is a table. You have a knife in your hand, and there is a lemon full of juice kept on the table. You have cut down the lemon and poured half of the lemon into your mouth. Feel it and then open your eyes. I hope most of us would have felt the taste of the lemon in your mouth, or a lot of us would have felt that the mouth is watering now. Now there is no lemon, there is no heat, there is no water, there is no shade. Still we have felt that. Why? Because this is what we call as a stimulus. This is bringing ourselves into that situation and feeling that situation. Now this is something which is very much responsible in our life and in our actions when we do it, and how do we do it. Now let's come back to the topic, which is called the challenges in e-commerce. Now one question which I would want to ask you, of course I cannot have an interaction one-on-one, But one question which I would want to ask you, if I ask you that what is the most difficult thing in life, then you might have an answer of your own in your mind. But let me tell you the answer. The most difficult thing in life is a change. Now, somebody who is comfortable in one particular position, if you want to change his position, then that is the most difficult thing for everybody to do. And that's something which we call it as challenge. Now, the same situation has happened in the real time right now, that we are facing a situation which is not normal. And that's why it is getting very difficult for all of us to adapt into this situation. And most of the time we say that we adopt change. So adapting change is something different from embracing change. So you are going to embrace change only when you welcome the change. And that is something which is very, very important for all of us to understand, that during this kind of situation or during this period, it's not about adaptation of change which is required. Adaptation means forcefully, you have no other way. And embracing change means take the things or welcome the things with your open hands. Now, this is something which you'll have to keep in your mind during the entire session, and then understand this session in a better way. And then you will be able to understand this session in a better way. So when we are talking about the challenges, what does exactly the challenge means? The challenge, if you go by an Oxford dictionary definition of challenge, then it's simply a call to someone to participate in a competitive situation. Now, this is something which is called a challenge. So I ask you a question, or you yourself ask a question to yourself: when was the situation when there was no challenge in life? I don't think there has been ever a situation when there was no challenge in life. But the situation, like the ground situation, have changed. The battlefield has changed a bit for us, and that's why we are feeling that it is a bigger challenge which has come in front of us than what it was prior. When we talk about opportunity, then it's simply a time or set of circumstance that makes it possible to do something. So there has always been an opportunity, and there was no time at all ever when there was no opportunity to do anything. So we need to keep these two things in mind before understanding that how things are going to be working in new normal. So we have been listening to a lot of things. Our Prime Minister also said that there is apada mein avsar. Now this is something which we need to understand, that there are always an opportunity. The challenge comes with a new opportunity. Now we may be looking it in a different way. That's why it is looking more challenging. Or you might be thinking कि अभी ये होना था, or something like मेरा पीछे वाला बैच तो सारा प्लेस हो गया हमारे टाइम में. This is something which is coming to be very difficult for us. It is nothing like that. It's all about mindset, and you have to understand that you have got a different challenge in front of you. They had a different challenge in front of them. So you need to think on this particular perspective when you listen to this lecture about challenges and opportunities in e-commerce. So I do not want to go into a bookish thing. You would have all gone through internet, and you can find out a lot of things about challenges and opportunities into internet and into e-commerce industry. But I'm going to talk about the real-time situation, how you need to prepare yourself, and what is it as a new normal which is required to be built in yourself. Now, let me tell you a very clear example or a very clear proposition, that even if you get 500 years in your life, you will not be able to do everything in life. So we need to be very clearly focused on what we have to do in life, first of all. Otherwise, it will be very difficult for us to get into this environment and prove ourselves better. So everybody has got a set of goodness in him. You need to introspect and find that what you are good at. Now, coming to the challenges first. The biggest challenge in the market which came was that the people who had money, they have frozen the money. It is something because, and let's take them as a customer. Now the customer has started investing money in a fashion wherein he is looking at the better return on his money. Earlier, which was not the situation, because everybody is feeling that the situation is challenging. So I should not spend the money which is not going to give me a return. So the customer has become very choosy. Now he does not want to spend and see that what is that which is coming out. He has to be first sure of that what is coming back to him, and then he is going to spend money on onto any of the products. And that has what has narrowed down because of this, the opportunities which were coming on the way. Like earlier, there were, you would have seen that there are so many e-commerce players which are there in the market, and everybody is running his shop, and everybody is doing with a fair product or a bad product, or a fantastic product. Now people are not investing in that. There are certain categories which has seen a dip during this course of time, but that is not going to be a permanent dip. Like industries like apparel, industry like which were dealing into luxurious items, all these industries basically have seen a dip because that was not the time for the people to invest into that industry. Now, I say a definition always that keep silent when everybody is shouting, but shout when everybody is silent. So that's something which is going to recognize you better. Giving you an example of our organization as an iTech, we had increased the manpower during this pandemic from around 100 people to 150 people. So 50% increase in the overall manpower or input has resulted into 100% growth for us. And it is not because we are taking the benefit out of this pandemic. It is because that when more people, most of the people were thinking of investing in a very conservative manner, we started investing in a very open-heartedly to this particular business. What has resulted into it as that we have seen a losses in couple of months, but when it started picking up, those losses were been covered up within 1.5 months time. So this is something which we all need to understand, that we don't have to wait and watch. We have to continuously get into understanding that how can I improve myself so that I can be working into this competitive environment. Now, talking about the other challenges which has come across in the specifically into e-commerce sector and in the companies which are working into e-commerce sector, is the employee safety. Now, a lot of us had been concerned about our health, whether we should go to the organization, whether we should work from home, whether we should be working from where, and if I am working, if I'm not getting a healthy environment, what am I going to do? And then again, I will say that it is always that there has always been this concern. It is not a special period wherein we are thinking. It's all about our mindset. There are people who are working. Have we stopped eating food? No. Have we stopped drinking water? No. So why should we stop looking at improving ourselves and fitting into the adaptation model of the time which is coming ahead? So this is something which we all need to understand, that every challenge which is coming up out here has got two aspects of it. One is one as the most vocal thing point which comes out of this particular.
So your voice is not coming.
So you muted your mic. Yeah, it's okay now.
Better? And how long
Yeah,
I was in mute? I'm sorry,
just
I will repeat it.
just a minute.
Okay, fair enough. So I'll come back to it again. So I was talking about that challenge has got two questions in it, and the first and the most important is the fear. So the fear of participating into that particular challenge stops us at the first moment. At the time during March, the kind of fear we had of this COVID-19 has reduced drastically when we have entered into October and March. What has October and November? What has happened? Have we all been vaccinated? No, we never got vaccinated. Then too that fear ended. Why? Because we had started facing that fear. When we started facing that fear, that challenge automatically went into an opportunity. I think a lot of people started getting placed themselves. They started working from office. We had always been working from office. Thank you so much for this. We have staff coming in from IMS. They were like, and I find to them to be very brave. I had interaction with IIT of Patna, and like they say that they wanted to work, but they were like too much afraid of going into the market and working. I believe that IMS guys are more brave than them actually, because there are a couple of them who have joined already, and they are working fantastic, and things have gone on. So it's all about the stimulus I'm talking about, that how you think about the situation. Like if you think you can certainly do it. But if you're thinking that you can't, then you are right. You are absolutely right that you cannot, because your mindset is that you cannot do it. Then you should not get into it. Now, for this time to come, I would not say that it is very challenging, but this time is to introspect ourselves to see that whether do we have something better for ourselves or something better in us, and have we brushed up that particular thing to be standing different from the crowd. And when I say that when the crowd is silent, then you need to shout. So when you need to shout, you need to have that skill which shouts for you. So I would suggest that when you, and the irony of the fact is that you look at the change which has happened, that teachers are coming to the college and students are sitting at home. So that's the irony. So this is the kind of change we are looking at this point of time, wherein things are changing drastically. So what we have to do, either we have to wait and watch and see that when the situation will come up to our situation, how we are thinking it about it, then we are going to start working, or let's start the way it is going on, and then let's face the situation and mold ourselves and embrace that change and get into the mainstream. One point. Now talking about the customer behavior, like I'm telling you that what kind of people industry is looking at now at this point in time vis-a-vis what it was looking earlier pre-pandemic actually. So pre-pandemic, people were taking chances with hirings. Now they were many of the companies have started downsizing, many of the companies have started laying off, many of the companies have retrenched a lot of people. Now just imagine who were those people who would have been laid off or who would have been retrenched. Were those very skilled people who were doing fantastic or who were doing extraordinary work? Were the people who have been laid off? No, those people are still working in the industry and those people are staying there. So always the weakest link in the chain is the one who goes out. So what we need to do is that we have to continuously improve ourselves. Now there is always two parts of it. One is that we think that we should get a job that's certain because we have done an MBA. And the second thing which we think is that I am not lesser than anybody else in the market, so I should get a better package in the market. The times have changed, so let's start thinking on from the other way. Let's start thinking that the other person has got a job or not, and I have got a job or not. So first thing is that if I have been selected in this situation in any of the company and I have been working about in that, then I am better than that particular crowd which is not working, first of all. Second important thing is that brush up your skill, don't waste up your time during this, and you have got a wonderful time to brush that out, because you have got all time in the world to work on your skills. The most important skill which I would suggest you to work on is your communication. most of the time we after coming out of the management program or maybe engineering or something like that, we have got an immense knowledge of what we have read or studied, because we have got a wonderful teachers to teach us that particular topic. But the thing is that something which we particularly have to work by ourselves, we do not do that. And that, what is that? That is communication. Because when you have to crack the interview, you know, all knowledge which you have gained in 2 years probably is not going to work, but the way you speak is something which is going to work for you. That's the most important thing. So all the people, I think, who have got a fantastic communication. One, second, you are having a command over the business language. When I say business language, then the global business language, fortunately or unfortunately, is English. So this is something which you have to be working very hard on, because most of the companies who are working online now or from home now are looking for the people with a fantastic communication. Now, skill is something which we can develop over a period of time, but communication is something which you come with. Now, this is something which you can at least work around at home, and you can brush it up. Now, this is something which was always been a challenge, but now this is a bigger challenge at this point in time. Now, just suppose for an example, if I am an employer, I have to hire an employee. One employee is like an average in terms of communication, and I have to do everything from home. So one person who is an average, as an average person in communication, and somebody who is an excellent in communication, probably I will always go for an excellent, because I have a very less bandwidth to hire number of hire more people, and that all of that I have got a lot of raw material from home I have to pick up. So I have got a lot of choices, and certainly I would always try to pick up the best. This is what, as I told you, as a customer is also looking at the same thing, and that is why he is looking on ROI, what is called as return on investment. So out of all the things which is available in the market, he is trying to pick up the best, and he is trying to choose the one which is going to give him a better return. So you should also consider yourself as a product. So when you are a product, you need to understand that why somebody is going to pick you up. Somebody is only going to pick you up when you show something which is extraordinary as compared to the other products in the market. And that extraordinary is not your result. I'm again in the brackets, I'm not saying that you should not work on your results of exams. That is extremely important, because that's something which is going to decide how brilliant you are in terms of your knowledge. But yes, extracurricular activities, and in all my lectures I have been always saying that MBA is all about personality development. It's not just learning the books or knowing what is there in the books of management, but all about personality development, how you brush up, how you look at your faculties, and understand that that how I would reach that particular stage, whom you have made as a role model, and where do you want to reach in life. Now, there is one question which I always ask, and if you guys, any of you ever appear in my interview, certainly will have this question. I'm opening it up in front of you, that I will always ask you a question which is very difficult to answer, is that what do you want to do in life? And that question, most of the people end up in answering saying that I want to become manager, I want to become a top department head in any of the organization. Is this what you want to do ever in life? Just think over. Now, this is something which you have to think, and you have to start with. If you want to, there are different ways. Like, if I was to answer, I can say that I want to earn money in life. So earning money in life is my perspective, and I want to be rich. Can be possible. Second person can say that I want to be now, some people say that I want to be successful. What is the definition of being successful? There is no set of definition which says that you can be successful or not. So people can, you have to be very crisp and clear that what you want to do in life. You may say that I want to build up a home for my parents in 10 years time. That's something which I will be appreciating more than somebody who is coming back and say that I want to be an entrepreneur in life and I want to become Steve Jobs. Like, This is unrealistic goal. You have to set up a very realistic goal and then work towards it to reach there. Is something which is very important. I assume that we have got first year as well as final year MBA students out here.
Yes,
Is it
sir.
right?
Yeah. It's both first and second year.
Okay, so those final year people have got lesser time now because you have already completed, almost completed your MBA, and now you will be going out in the market and looking out for a job. So let me tell you the trend now, which is going now. We come back, unfortunately or fortunately, we come back from the background wherein still it has been considered that a government job is a more secure job to do. We should come out of that state. Now, when we want to become global and we want to be into a real stream competition, we need to understand that there are various ways of earning money, and contract employment is again one of them. Now, what you need to look upon is that how you gain experience and you get into the mainstream. Forget about that how you have been hired, whether you are in a contract employee, you are a permanent employee. Nothing is permanent in this world. Well, like a lot of people who are thinking that they are permanent have lost their job during COVID times, isn't it? So nothing is permanent. We need to understand that whether we are actually working or we are not working. If we are working, then whatever way we are working actually is adding some experience to ourselves. Now, the new trend which has emerged is that the companies are not hiring their employees on their payrolls. They are hiring people as a freelance. They are hiring people as contractual employees, and those who are good in their skill set are being able to survive, and they are the one who are going to get absorbed when the companies start hiring on their payrolls actually. Now this challenge, most of us will not be ready to take. Like most of us will be thinking कि जब तक कि मुझे job नहीं मिलती है, then I have got my parents, I will stay back home. Now this is not what is facing challenge. This is like waiting for the opportunity to come, which is never going to come. You have to create an opportunity. Opportunity is never shown or seen in the market automatically. There are industries which are doing very well. Example, healthcare industry is something which is doing very well. So all those people who have got a mindset towards healthcare product or healthcare industry can certainly look forward to getting into healthcare industry. There are other industries like e-commerce. Now, not all e-commerce, but global e-commerce, which is going very well. I'll give you an example. Like for the set of customers we are working as a company actually are the exporters. Now, prior to this pandemic, they had only three opportunities, three way of doing business. One was that they had to participate in international trade shows and trade fairs wherein they were physically going and participating. They were getting buyers out there and then they were selling their products. The second way of doing it was the online medium, like B2B portals like Alibaba.com and all. And the third way for them to do business was through the very conservative method of doing business, like they followed up their old buyers and then they waited for the buyers to send them the orders and then they were doing the orders. Now, in this during this pandemic, the other two opportunities went off. One, because you cannot travel. The second, no trade shows are happening across the globe. So they had very few chances then to come on to online medium, and this was happening in all the industries, and that's the reason e-commerce industry has grown big. But not all e-commerce, let me tell you. All those e-commerce who were of local presence had struggled a lot because they were not being able to suffice the need which arose in the market, which was trending towards a particular item like groceries was something which was very much required, and those people who were dealing in that, even a general store which was nearby had done a wonderful business. But those people who were dealing into e-commerce, which were apparently very much focused onto apparel and luxury items, they had suffered a lot because nobody bought anything from them because it was not required. Nobody had to buy a Armani suit and wear it during the COVID time because that was not the necessity at that point in time. So those companies which are in a mix and match of both the things had an opportunity to grow. So if somebody generally saying that e-commerce industry has grown a lot, I will not be agreeing to it. I will only agree if somebody says that the specific set of e-commerce companies which facilitated either the customer or the businesses to grow faster had got an opportunity to grow. Like you will see a lot of companies like OLX, they had not been making money because nobody was buying anything at that point in time, and it was useless to buy anything and keep at home while you cannot use it. Some companies like OLX, like Quicker, a lot of companies who were selling second-hand cars, lot of companies who were dealing into vehicles, had been the ones who had suffered a lot in during this COVID time because vehicle movements was not there, so these things were not selling out. But those companies, like for example, if I tell you about Alibaba.com, so the exporter, if he had to export, he had no other way than to find a buyer from an online medium. So this industry has grown faster during this particular period of time, and all those industries which were related to healthcare product has grown faster. So this is the trend which is going to continue for the next 2 years, which global business cycle decides, and they have at a conference, and they have come up with this particular thing that this trend is going to continue for the next 2 years. So for all of you, if you have to choose your career, if you have to get into any job or any business, I think this is something which is there to for you to be keeping in mind, that you have to invest yourself or your time into those industries which has got an scope for next 2 years. And when other industries start growing in, then you can switch. Second important thing is sustainability. Now, a lot of people who were on the borderlines could not sustain because they were not sure that what they have to do in life. Companies, we are not a very big company, but companies like us had invested a lot in the resource as well as in the business, and we have been able to come out with a flying color with almost 100% extra profitability than what we were earning during the pre-COVID period, and we have been able to survive this strength. And for though this is out of a topic, but for your example, during this pandemic time, iTech has not only become the largest channel partner of Alibaba for India, it has become a global largest channel partner for Alibaba, with having a US business in its kitty, because we were the only one who were having sufficient manpower to handle that. So that is something which we all need to look at, that during the challenging situation, when we feel that we have to save every penny, people who face the challenge, who have spent the money, are the one who are going to survive in this. So this is again, this applies to you guys as well, that now when you were thinking that I will come out as an MBA and I will get a flashing job and I will be placed in any industry, you have to be very careful, because the initial step which you take is something which is going to decide that whether you are going to be successful or not. Forget about those stories about Ambani's or Jack Ma's or anybody else that they had done something 18 times and after that they had been, now the time has changed. That was that time they would have done it, but now the time has changed. We would not want to fail 18 times before getting into a right job. Actually, we certainly should use our brain and get into the right job in the first instance. When I say job, not necessarily means a job. Job means maybe your business, maybe the choice of work which you want to do post your MBA, and so on. So these are certain things which I as an entrepreneur would want to share with you, for you to have a better understanding about how the situation has been. Now, remember once again that this challenge is not a new challenge. We always have seen these kind of challenges where jobs are not there in the market, and this challenge is not a big challenge. The only thing is that we do not have a right candidate in the market, because people's mindset of the people have changed and they want the job. See, I'm an entrepreneur. I cannot do what I want. I have to do it as per my customer. So how can, if I am a job seeker, how can I think that I will get a customized job as per my requirement? I can never. So you will have to adapt or embrace something which is coming up as a trend in the market. So don't hesitate in taking up anything which is coming up as a freelance, anything which is coming as a contract to you. Probably this is something which is going to add value to you. And during this time, when the hirings will get open in the company, companies will always look up to those candidates first who had been working during this pandemic times, and not those people who had taken an intervening period from March to next March, and then now they have come out of the houses and started searching for a job, because you are 1 year late. So that is the first thing which is very important for all of you, is to come out of that shell and start believing that this challenge has to be faced, and this challenge will not go automatically. How will this challenge be faced? How will the job start coming in into the market? Now, like everybody who is investing into business now, who is looking at various ways of switching, like from those people who were into real estate, they are moving into healthcare. There are many businesses who were into a single business, have created a multiple wings of business, so that revenue starts coming in. These jobs will start coming in into the market. And when the job seeker is open with all his ability to spend time and to invest himself into growing that particular industry, the market will start stabilizing by in its whole self. So that's all which I wanted to talk about in this particular scenario, in terms of the challenges and the opportunities which are going to come in specifically into e-commerce industry. Rest of the things I think are very much available in the internet. I don't need to repeat it, and you know that what are the sufferings which people are having and what are the challenges which we are facing. But I will be more open to the questions if you have anything in mind, and I'll be, if I am able to help you out in those queries, I'll be more happy. So over to you, Dr. Monica, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us that what is the current job scenario and how we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
And first of all, at the outset, I would like to congratulate you for becoming the global. You said that you have become the largest
Largest partner.
globally. Globally, yeah, that's
Thank
very
you.
good. And we are also feeling proud to be associated with you. That we are associated with a global company. So
Thank
once
you so
again,
much.
congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much.
And with this, I'd like to ask one question. Like you said that you increased the manpower during the pandemic time.
Right.
So how did you decide? What was the reason behind increasing the manpower during that time?
Yeah, so I think like us, there are various other people who are working for this particular business, and we saw that a lot of people have started reducing their manpower, and those areas of the market wherein those manpowers were working had been left as a blank or empty or vacuum. So that vacuum which was being created in the market was not good, because one important thing is that looking after your existing customers during this point in time is very important. If you are being able to retain those customers during this tough time, those customers are going to stay with you for a longer period of time. And for retaining those customers, there was a need of a manpower, and this was the handholding time, because if otherwise we always handhold our customers, but during this tough time it was very important to handhold our customers and take him through or pass him through the stream. And that's where we saw that there is a lot of opportunities of adding manpower in those areas wherein others have receded or others have taken a back step. So that was one of the criteria which worked for us, and strategically we have increased more manpower, 50% more manpower, like not like so small,
That's
like
great, sir.
50% more manpower to those areas. And today we are flourishing, touchwood, and that's the reason we have been introduced to US business, and we are the largest channel partner of US now also. And hopefully we in the next session we will come up, we will also be coming up with as the largest channel partner of the Middle East.
Oh, that's good. And
Yeah.
I'm also happy because that increases our students' chances of getting into tech. If you're
Absolutely.
increasing,
And openly, I'm telling you openly that you all are welcome, and I'll be happy to have you all onboarded, provided you have all that skill set which is required to fight as a challenger during this particular period of time. We are very much open, and the next thing which I was going to announce was that we are open in hiring. So all those people who are really looking forward to get into the mainstream, to build up their career and to start fighting at this particular tough time, are most welcome to join us.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Definitely tomorrow only I'll be sending the students to your office. Sir,
Yeah,
one more thing. Like you
please.
said that you there was a vacuum created. There were other who just left the customers in between. So how do you find that vacuum? Like it was just out of experience that you came to know that no, this is going to happen, or do you have a scientific process for that? That you conduct some analysis, you conduct some survey, and then you analyze that and you come to some conclusion?
Yeah, so working closely with the customer is something which is very important, and that's out of experience also. But yes, scientific analysis was being carried out
Okay.
of that, because when we saw that those customers who are associated with iTech, their renewal rate during this pandemic had been higher than those customers who are otherwise working for other people actually. And that gave us a confidence that at least we are handholding our customers and their renewals are coming in. That means they are gaining some traction on the platform because we are helping them. So in order to help the customers who were not doing so well, we understood that why they are not doing so well is that they have not been handholded. So we use this method actually in order to get into the market to expand ourselves.
Okay. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. So anybody else would like to ask questions? Otherwise, I'll go on asking the questions.
Yeah, anybody can be free.
Yeah.
And just one important thing is that whenever somebody asks you to ask question, whatever is the silliest thing in your mind, the silliest question, you ask that first. Because don't try to create a brilliant question, because we as an entrepreneurs are very much accustomed to answer those brilliant questions. We are not accustomed to answer those silly questions. So do ask those silly questions whichever is coming in your mind. Please do that if anybody has.
Yes, all the students. You can ask him the questions. Like he has given you an opportunity where you can ask him anything.
Yeah, please. That's okay to give them 1 minute time to think over. That's okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're working from, sir, like the office is open.
Office is open since July
Like
actually.
means offline. The offline offices are open.
No, office is open. We have been physically working from office since
Yep.
July.
Okay.
Yeah,
Physically working from offices.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't
Same
like
here,
working
sir.
from.
We are. Yeah.
I don't like working from
Sir, we are
home.
we are also physically working from offices only. Like
That's what
since June,
that's
July.
what I said. That this is the irony, and
Yeah, yeah.
ever we have seen this trend change. The teachers are coming to the college and the students are
And
back at
students
home.
are at home. Yeah, yeah, sir. That is that is. Anybody?
Akanksha Rastogi, if you're here,
Yes, sir.
you got a lot of questions to ask. There is here.
Feel
Good
free, please.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Akansha.
Sir, I want to ask that for digital marketers, what kind of opportunities are there in e-commerce industry?
I did miss your first line. Can you repeat it once again? Sorry.
Sir, for a digital marketers, what kind of job opportunities are there in e-commerce industry?
Digital marketers, you are saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so digital marketing has again become a mushrooming trend during this COVID situation, and everybody has become a digital marketer. But digital marketing in itself has actually been, as a word, has been misused. So just calling digital marketing will not give you a very clear understanding about that what are the opportunities. Like there is a very crisp segmentation in digital marketing which you need to understand, that what kind of digital marketing are you doing. Like for an example, if you are working for a business and you want to expand that particular business through digital marketing, then what are the channels you are adopting. Like for example, you cannot do all the digital marketing by your own self. There is a lot and huge investment which is required. People who think that digital marketing is a cheap thing is a very expensive thing actually. So you need to understand that what kind of digital marketing you are good at. Like for example, the new trend has come in wherein on Insta and on Facebook you run an ad of any of the companies and that particular company is growing in terms of getting more customers out of there, or many other e-commerce portal. The other trend which has come up is promoting the app, promoting the business through app. Like if you are a creator of an app and you can develop a wonderful app, then you will be able to do it. Like as soon as the TikTok got banned, a lot of other players came into the market, started building up TikTok, thinking that everybody will become like that. How many of us we know today? And all those were digital marketers. We could not do that. So I think for digital marketing, there is a lot of scope, but don't try to do everything in digital marketing. Segment your digital marketing in a particular segment, that whether you want to work for students, whether you want to work for businesses, whether you want to work for customers, and then I think there is a huge scope. And if you are being able to, or like education industry, a lot of online educations are going on at this point in time. So digital marketing has to first be segmented, and then if you know that which segment you are doing good, I think you should look at the opportunities in that segment. And there are Byju's and other companies which are hiring hugely on digital marketing. So there is a huge scope in digital marketing, I would say, provided you have segmented yourself.
Thank you,
I
sir.
hope I have been able to answer. Yeah.
Yes.
Any other question anybody has?
So do we have more questions?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, what is your strength and weakness as a leader and as a co-founder?
Okay, great. So since long nobody has asked this question since I attended last interview actually. So my strength is to be a good team player, because we do not when we hire people in iTech, we do not hire people in employer-employee relation. We only hire people who are leaders, who are the owners actually. So we put them into the ownership of something, and we expect them to deliver with all the supports from our side, and that is something which has made us a very strong company over a period of time. Now, in terms of my weakness, I'm a bit aggressive person. I want people to be running as fast as I am running. Sometimes it doesn't go good because everybody is not so fast mover, and that's the reason sometimes people are left behind. So I have to again go back and pick them up and come out. So that is something which I'm working on, to be steady with the team size.
That's good. So you said one thing, that people who are left behind, you go back and you pick them up. So I think that is the quality of a leader.
That's something which I have to, yeah. So for an example, if I'll give you an example, that we started this company with 18 people in 2015, and those were the initial founder members of iTech. 80% of those people are still there with iTech actually. So that gives us a strength that we are going in the right direction.
Right, sir.
Any other question anybody might have? If not, then absolutely fine. You guys can always send me a question on Facebooks or LinkedIn's you guys are attached with, and I will try to answer it as quickly as possible. And otherwise, Dr. Monica is there, and you can give a list of questions to her, and I will be able to answer over a period of time.
Yeah, yes, sir, definitely. I know that you are always there for us.
Yeah, or Dr. Awasthi is more active digitally. Probably you can learn from him. Digital marketing.
Yes, sir. He's a digital marketing expert, and he's handling all our social media accounts, the
That's great.
departments and institutes. And I think and I think he must be having a question for you to ask. So
No
the
problem at
last question I'll give to Ashish.
No problem at all.
Sir, I have a question. Like, iTech is primarily working in B2B space, I believe.
Right.
So, are there any plans to enter B2C space for iTech?
See, B2C companies are majorly looking at the capitalization of the market, and most of the companies which are B2C, which we can see in the current scenario in India, are being funded from the back to capitalize the market. We probably do not believe in that kind of business. We are a self-funded company and we have not taken anybody's investment into this business. One, and for B2C, and believe you me, no B2C profitability. They are running on the money of the investors right now, and they are making losses for them actually. So for any B2C market to be established and to be successful, the B2B backbone has to be first very strong. So unless India has got a very strong B2B backbone, the B2C companies will keep incurring losses onto that. So that is why Amazon.com or maybe India Mart or anybody which you look at, or Alibaba in itself, they are first trying to strengthen the B2B segment on the and it is going to again take next 5 years to strengthen that segment. And obviously, once this segment is strengthened and we see the opportunity, we will certainly would like to get into B2C. But before that, we would want to enter into value-added services. Now, there is a complete ecosystem. Our customers, unfortunately, have not been so much educated in the market that they will be able to do everything by their own self. So there are like a lot of byproducts. I'll tell you that like platforms like Amazon, platforms like Alibaba.com or India Mart requires a customer to be spending more time on the platform. Now, if I'm a one-man show, I am not able to do that by my own self. So iTech is completely engaged into doing it on their behalf if they are not able to do that. So this is something which is called a value-added services. So first of all, we would want to make them successful on the platform and tell them that this is something which you have to do. If you do not have a time, I will do it for you. So that kind of environment, if we have very strong, then I think once the customer learns it and the B2B backbone is strong, certainly next is B2C. Unfortunately, in India, we started backward. Like we started by B2C first and then we are going to B2B. And everybody is realizing it, that B2B is important. This pandemic has also taught a lot of people that if you do not have bulk, you are not able to sell it. Like either it is mask, either it is sanitizer, or anything. Everybody has become B2B, you know. Everybody stopped his business, started selling mask. So that's something which we need to wait and watch.
Thank you, sir. And I wish that in times to come, iTech becomes a unicorn, grow big. So
Thank you so much.
all those wishes are with you.
Certainly, with all the resources we have from IMS and with all the good wishes from all the faculties and the people associated, we certainly will look forward to, and you will be the part of the journey actually.
We surely, sir, we look forward to that. And we
Sure.
would be happy and we would be like feeling proud to be the part of that journey. So
My pleasure.
thank you so much, sir, for giving your time and sharing some precious knowledge and wisdom with all the students. And I hope that students have gained a lot and they have learned, at least they have come to know that what is the ecosystem, the current ecosystem of the commerce industry, the e-commerce industry, and how they have to prepare themselves in order to get inducted into that industry. So
Sure.
thank you once again. Thank you so much, sir. And look forward to your association in future also.
My pleasure, ma'am.
I think Anish has
Before
to say something.
before we say a final goodbye to each other, let's all of us open the camera so that we can have a group photograph here.
That is digital marketing.
In 2018, sir, you came to our college and we have a fabulous group photograph with you, first floor seminar hall, outside that seminar hall.
I remember,
That
yes.
photograph we keep watching, yeah. So can we all open our camera? Students, please.
Shiza, you can open up your camera.